Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and others. It is your fellow Kuro here, and I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. Today, guys, I would like to talk about something rather interesting that has happened recently in the MMO sphere, and highlight why exactly I believe that Zenimax Online Studios really need to pay attention to this, and maybe take some notes. So, for those of you who are unaware, Final Fantasy XIV's newest expansion, Endwalker, just came out a few weeks ago, something like that. Now, I know a lot of ESO players really couldn't care less about the existence of Final Fantasy XIV, but it is an undeniable fact that FF14 is not just wildly successful, but it is the most successful MMO of the current generation. Now, this success wasn't immediate. When FF launched, it was a damn mess, an absolute shitstorm, a dumpster fire the likes of which haven't been seen in years, decades, centuries even. A catastrophic failure that... Okay, I'm being a little dramatic, but just know it was bad. Really bad. A lot of things have changed for the game since then, though. They changed most of the dev team. They brought in now legendary director Naoki Yoshida, who is basically a demigod walking among mortal beings. They took the game down entirely and remade it from the ground up with a new engine, new systems, new content, and they relaunched it to very, very solid success, and since then, it has been getting better and better with each expansion leading up until now. Now, it's grown even more popular than World of Warcraft. It's drawn in tons of support from fans of Final Fantasy, fans of MMOs, and even some absolutely massive streamers, really earning its spot as the MMO of our current generation. So now, I'm sure you're wondering,
Oh, Kuro, what does this have to do with ESO? I clicked for an ESO video where you call Zenimax a bunch of stinky doo-doo heads for 10 minutes straight, not a freaking history lesson on Weeaboo Fantasy 14.
Well, don't you worry your sweet little head, my young nerd. Just hang in there, I'm getting to the point real soon. So, with the release of 14's latest expansion, the game has been seeing player counts higher than it has ever seen in the past, with players sitting in queues of tens of thousands of players daily, all just waiting to get in and check out the new stuff that the game has to offer. Now, that sounds like a great thing at face value. However, since then, there have been a good few issues, server issues, mass congestion, and on top of the few bugs that came with the launch, including a bug that is keeping people from being able to log in at all, the devs have a pretty massive undertaking to take care of, and I suppose you could say they're quite literally suffering from success. So it's apparent that there are problems. It's also apparent that a lot of these problems are coming from the absolutely massive amounts of server load coming from these hundreds of thousands of new players. So what do? How do they fix this? Do they, A, worry about it next incremental patch? Do they, B, do some week-long testing, disabling features that everyone would rather have left on just to see what might possibly happen? Or C, do they just ignore it and tell you to instead buy some half-priced respec scrolls? No. None. It's D, none of the above. What they did do, however, was pretty damn drastic. What they did was they suspended the sale of the game from all sources. That means all retailers, all online purchasing things, Steam, wherever, from the website itself, everywhere. There is no way that you can possibly purchase the base game unless you're going to go through one of those shady ass code seller websites where they steal your credit card information and all that. We don't do that around here. Now, that sounds kind of bad, but at the same time, it's actually incredibly smart, and it is considerate of the long-term players. Let me explain to you why. You see, Square Enix knew ahead of time that stopping sales would be detrimental to their bottom line, and every second that the game stays unavailable for purchase is thousands of dollars of potential revenue lost. But they don't care, because at the end of the day, they would rather focus on getting to the bottom of these current issues and sorting them out and fixing their game as fast as possible so as to not hurt their trust and goodwill with their long-time player base. They believe the happiness and support of their long-time players and their biggest fans and supporters is more important than bringing in new players and making that a little bit of extra money, especially if the new players would just have to be subjected to these same issues anyway, keeping them from becoming long-time players themselves. So, not only can no new players get a hold of the game, to try it out, congest the servers even further, and then give up on it because they sit in a queue for an hour and then eventually get hit with a bug that keeps them from logging in at all, but it also allows the longtime players and lovers of the game the ability to get in and enjoy some of the new content without a constant stream of new players continuing to keep the queue times higher and higher, essentially creating a controlled environment for the devs to do their thing. Now, they already have a patch planned for the very, very soon future, just a few days away from right now. It's going to help sort out a lot of these issues, and on top of that, they're going to compensate the players that have been dealing with this by giving them free playtime to the game, because yes, Final Fantasy XIV, for those who don't know, is a subscription-based MMO. So basically they're saying, hey, we know we fucked up, and we know you paid to play this game, so instead of making you suffer for our fuck-ups and not be able to use the playtime that you paid for, here you go, have some additional free playtime on us. So, again, they're gimping themselves out of money and taking accountability for what is going on here with their game. They're going to be losing a lot of money in the coming days due to these issues, but like I said before, they are focusing on keeping their diehard fan base, their longtime players, happy. So, on to how this has anything to do with ESO. Well, first and foremost is that Zenimax has been blaming so many things on server load at this point that it is absolutely incredible. And if you compare that to the undoubtedly ridiculously high demands of the servers with Final Fantasy XIV and what they are doing and how they are dealing with it, it just speaks volumes about the way these two different companies handle these very similar issues. So they claim they have these supposed issues with server load, but instead of doing something major, something drastic, something crazy to try to put forth the steps towards fixing it, they claim that there's nothing they can do in-house and it's going to take a lot of testing on the live servers. Okay, that's cool, but where is that testing? Where is it? You've done 3 tests in Cyrodiil before. It's been months since those, and there were months in between each of them, and we haven't seen anything come from it. However, they do not have any problem fixing Crown Store bugs, pushing out new Crown Store items, new half-baked content, while all of the bugs just get swept under the table where I guess they fucking belong, or something. Like, we still can't delete in Imperial City, we haven't been able to mistform properly for 2 years, we still can't target shit half the time, desyncing is still a thing even though they claim it's fixed, there's skill lags, sometimes skills don't go off at all, we're disconnecting from the game when people use ballistas now. It's crazy, and all of these bugs have been around for months to years at this point, yet we have no updates on how fixing those bugs is going, no ETA on how long it might take. Hell, we don't even have confirmation that they are trying to do anything about these bugs. Some of them, at least. The best we ever get is, yes, we're trying to fix Cyrodiil lag, but that might take some time. Thank you, Zenimax. Now, guys, I'm not typically the kind of guy that wants to go out of my way to shit on Rich Lambert or to shit on Zenimax, and as a matter of fact, I'm firmly against a lot of these videos that I've been seeing lately where everyone and their mother is just clowning on Rich because I guess they think he's an absolutely terrible, detestable, disgusting human being. I think it's pretty petty. I think it's kind of childish. That's just my opinion, and it is what it is. I do not agree with the way they are going about doing these, but what I do agree with is the underlying meaning of a lot of those videos, that meaning being that Zenimax has fucked up time and time again, and never really seems to feel any remorse, and never seems to hold himself accountable for the things the fans and supporters have to deal with. Instead, they just keep moving forward like the bugs and the performance problems just don't exist. At least it looks that way publicly. They don't get out there and apologize. They don't give us an idea of what they're doing to fix the problems. They could easily do something like, I don't know, like throw us a free month of ESO Plus or 1,500 crowns just as a, hey, sorry, we fucked that up. Here, take this. I mean, hell, even Fallout 76 did that with like $5 worth of atoms or whatever. That wasn't, acceptable, but at least it's something. Now, it just makes it hard to continue playing this game and caring about it so much, and supporting a company that doesn't really seem to care about us that much. At all, even, sometimes. Especially when the grass is so clearly so much greener on the other side, and we can see that there are some developers and studios out there that really do care about their fans and their supporters, and they will do anything to keep them happy and fix their problems, even at the expense of their own financial success at times. And Zenimax just doesn't really seem willing to step up to that plate. Anyway though, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I hope I might have put some things into perspective for you, maybe got your brain going a little bit, got those juices flowing, make you think a little bit. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care. I love you. Kuro out. Mwah. I could follow you around like something needs more. Minute that you wanted me smaller.